Doodle Quest is a $10 mixed reality game on the Meta Quest, very reminiscent of those pipe connection games where you have to take the water from one end to the other, except with this one it's a ball and paint. The game includes over 200 puzzles and 10 different composition models. But is it worth it? The game itself is extremely simple. Just draw a path to help the ball get to the goal and make sure you connect your drawing to the button to start the conveyor belt. The more times you draw, the less score you get, so make sure you try to get it all done in a single stroke. Use the brush to paint your path and the ball will interact with it, nudging it in one direction or another to help steer it to the goal. Every level increases in difficulty and adds other obstacles to get around, requiring you to think outside the box and understand how the ball moves in relation to your paint. If you don't get it on your first try, just hit the redo button and try again. I find it useful to press the button first to see the ball's path and then try to navigate around that. The game is easy to learn but hard to master, requiring a lot of concentration and foresight to understand where the ball could go and how to manipulate it to get it to where you want it to go. I really like the simplistic nature of the game, how easy it is to navigate and learn, but I don't really like the way it interacts with the environment or the lack of. For a mixed reality game, it just doesn't really seem to have many interactions with the actual environment. You basically just get to see the game being played in your own room around you, but there's very little interaction beyond that. It would be really cool to see you be able to use your own table and have the game identify areas to project the game onto existing tables rather than simply using a fake one in game. Another thing I don't really like is how when you're using the brush slowly, it's very difficult to see where you will actually be painting. But if you move the brush a lot, you get a much smoother paint, so it doesn't really give you a lot of room for finer details, just larger strokes. While it does have hand tracking, the accuracy makes it pretty unusable. You can see my fingers aren't even touching and it's registering it as an action, despite me not wanting to draw in that moment. So you're basically just constantly worrying that it'll start painting if your fingers are even remotely close to each other, which forces you to keep your hand completely open at all times. That and the fact that your hands clip through the game table so you can't even see them, which makes the mixed reality hand tracking really not worth it. Just stick with controllers. I haven't been able to get very far in the time I've spent in this game, mostly because of the paint not being accurate enough to really know where I'm placing it, and the paint model jumping to a different point once I release. These issues can be mitigated with practice, but I would wait until the game is in a much better spot before trying it. So, is it worth it? For $10, I would say not right now, but that could change if they fix some of the collision and activation issues and really polish the mixed reality aspect of it. Because in the current state, I think it would rather just play it fully in VR and not mixed reality. There's a lot of good content and fun levels, but without the mixed reality aspect, it's basically just another drawing puzzle game, which is fine, but there's a lot of issues that need to be fixed before saying you should get it, especially if you're buying it exclusively for the mixed reality.